All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. We will wait. There is Terprima. Are you there? Terprima. Welcome to our webinar. We will wait Prof. Eko to join with us. We, we will wait for more participants to join with us. And we will start our webinar after Prof. Eri join with us.
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm here.
Terprima, okay.
Yeah.
We will wait Prof. Eko.
Yeah, of course. Okay, just take your time.
Okay, I will set up couple. Wait. Yes. Wait, Prof. Eri. Where is so nanti presentasinya saya yang bantu untuk share, share presentasi dari
Okay.
Prof. Eko. Oke, oke.
Okay, got it.
Oke. Eri. Welcome, Barata and Sir Siswanto Sukarjo. Hmm, Kemungkinan akan berada dalam kendaraan. Prof. Eko. Sedang bawa kendaraan, Prof. Eko. Sir. Eko. Hmm, Oke, kita akan tunggu eh, Prof. Eri bergabung, Bapak Ibu. Baru akan langsung kita mulai. Hmm. Selamat sore Bapak Ibu, selamat bergabung. Kita masih tunggu kehadiran Prof. Eri yang sedang dalam perjalanan. Ada Bu Mei, halo Bu Mei, Miriana yang selalu mendukung. Ada Laus Andre, halo Laus Andre.
Paramount Plus is available on YouTube. Enjoy all your favorite.
Oke. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our from social media to social skills, crafting digital identity in English. While we wait, Prof, Eri, and more participants to join, feel free to say hello in the chat box. Tell us your name and where you are joining us from. It's really wonderful to see so much enthusiasm today. Okay.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum.
Halo Prof. Eri, selamat bergabung. Welcome, Prof. Eri. Okay,
Suara
ladies
saya
and
terdengar?
okay, already with us. Can you hear my voice, Prof. Eri?
Yes. Ya,
Okay.
loud and clear.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's past 4 already. Let's dive in. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and fellow digital enthusiasts, welcome. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. A very good afternoon to you all. We are thrilled to have you here for today's session. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Today session is from social media to social skill, crafting digital identity in English. In era where our online presence often precedes us, today is not just about posting content. It's about building a professional, value digital identity using English as our primary tool for global communication, of course. Before we dive in, please allow me to share a few ground rules to ensure our session runs smoothly. First, please keep your microphone on mute unless you are invited to speak. And number two, we encourage you to turn on your camera to make this interaction feel more personal. Feel free to use our official virtual background. And three, you can drop your question in the chat box using the format name, country or city question. And the last, the link for the attendance list and certificate will be shared at the end of the session. So make sure to stay with us until the very end. It would be appropriate for us to start our session with a prayer. Okay, before we beginning our activity, let us start with a prayer according to our respective religions and belief. Let us pray. Amen. Distinguished speaker, dear partners, and all members of the Caritaau community joining us today from across the country, a very warm welcome as well to our digital audience watching us live on YouTube too. I hope. Good afternoon and very warm welcome to all of you. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest gratitude for your presence at today's webinar. From social media to social skill, crafting digital identity in English. When we first founded Caritaau, we envisioned it as a space for continuous learning, a place where curiosity meets opportunity. Today even is perfect reflection of that vision. We live in an era where our digital footprint is often the first handshake the world receives from us. The way we present ourselves up online, our digital identity has become our global currency. However, we believe that a great digital identity is not just about aesthetic feats or high follower counts. It is about social skills. It is about how we communicate, how we show empathy, and how we build professional credibility. By choosing to explore this in English, we are not just learning a language. We are opening doors to global opportunities and ensuring that our voices can be heard on a much larger scale. To our participants, I encourage you to be active today. Ask questions, challenge your perspective, and most importantly, start applying what you learn. Remember, in this community, we don't just want to know, we want to grow. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to Professor Eri, who has so kindly spared his time to be our guest speaker for today's webinar, From Social Media to Social Skills, Crafting Digital Identity in English. We are truly honored to have your expertise with us today. Without further ado, I officially open this webinar. I hope you find today's session both insightful and transformative. The webinar will be conducted mainly in English, but you are welcome to use Bahasa Indonesia during the Q&A or sharing session. Don't be shy. We are all here to learn. Thank you, and let's keep learning together. Now, to lead our exciting discussion today, I will hand over the session to our moderator. He is an educator and a lecturer at Universitas Terbuka. We will be guiding us through the entire session. Without further ado, please welcome Sir Prima. Sir Prima, the virtual floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, sir. And for all of the participants and professor, is professor here?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Apology, professor. Like, due to the bad connection, probably I'm gonna be kicked out of the system, and I'm trying my best to stay online. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace be upon us all. May we all be in good health and high spirit. Welcome to, I don't know how to say it in English, so I'm going to say it in Indonesia. Ngobrol online seri 5 ya. Like, it is truly an honor for me, Stefanus Primanugroho, to serve as your moderator for today's inspiring and thought-provoking session. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever felt that who you are in real life is different from how you appear on social media? In today's digital era, English is no longer merely a communication tool. Global presence. Through this webinar entitled From Social Media to Social Skills, Crafting Digital Identity in English, we will explore how everyday digital activities like scrolling, posting, and commenting, I believe all of us have done all of them, right? Can be transformed into meaningful communication skills with global impact. Before we proceed, I would like to express our sincere appreciation to our host, Mr. Andreas Helpi, SS, the founder of Caritaau, for organizing and facilitating this event. And also the organizing committee like Pak Barata, I saw you there, and all the participants who have taken the time to join and learn together today. Distinguished participants, in the flood of digital content, many of us become active spectators, like what I said before, like scrolling, liking, hitting the heart button, and even sharing. However, an important question arises. Are we merely present in the digital world, or are we truly influential? This discussion invites us to move beyond passive participation and become purposeful communicators, individuals who are not only visible but also impactful, ethical, and respected through the use of English.
I'm so sorry. There is bad connection.
Wait, I'm back. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, shall we go on? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to introduce our distinguished keynote speaker. He is Professor Eri Kurniawan M.A. Ph.D., a professor of linguistics and currently serves as the head of the International Partnerships Division at Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. Professor Eri earned his master's and doctoral degrees in linguistics from the University of Iowa United States, and has extensive experience as a researcher and academic leader who has published a lot of international, let's say, Scopus journal articles. Among of them are lexical bundles in accepted and rejected Scopus Index Hard Science Research, articles introductions, multilingualism and hybrid identities among Indonesian youth in the indigenous community of Baduy in 2025. Maybe scroll up a bit down, Mr. Uh, Andre. That's again. That's it. That's it. All right, that's perfect. That's perfect. And then the other journalists, more analysis of fraud in a mediated online transaction, and also navigating inconsistencies, the challenges of implementing multilingual education policy in rural Indonesia, and language maintenance among the Baduy of Western Java, Indonesia. And there are many more Scopus journal articles. And for your information, and I see there are also other lecturers who are coming as participants. I would like to say my gratitude to Bu Deara. That's my colleague in what is it in Universitas Terbuka ya, Bu Deara. Welcome. It's really hard, ladies and gentlemen, to enter the Scopus journal articles, and it's a wonderful work by Professor Eri to be able to publish a lot of international journals. For everyone convenience, here is, I'm sorry, with his expertise in applied linguistics, social linguistics, and digital identity, we are confident that Professor Eri's insights today will be both enlightening and highly relevant. Please join me in giving a warm virtual welcome to Professor Eri Kurniawan M.A. Ph.D. Welcome, Professor. For everyone's convenience, here is the outline of today's session. First, keynote presentation by Professor Eri Kurniawan, and then question and answer session. All the participants are also allowed to chat the questions if you have questions in the middle of the professor's presentation. And the last is closing remarks and reflection. Participants are welcome to submit questions through the chat box. Yeah, don't be hesitant in order to do that. Without further ado, let us take full advantage of this valuable opportunity to learn directly from our expert. I now kindly invite Professor Eri Kurniawan M.A. Ph.D. to deliver his keynote presentation. The floor is yours, Professor.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, Prof.
Can you hear me? All right. Thank you.
Can hear you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon for everyone who is present here now. First of all, it's really an honor for me to be here, invited at this online talk show. Special thanks to Bang Andreas and Bang Stefanus for such a nice invitation and introduction. Let's go straight to the materials that I have prepared. And my sincere apology for being late. So at the same time, there is a conflict in terms of scheduling, and so there is a family occasion that I have to attend to. That's why I was actually on the street when the event was about to start. All right, so our today's talk will revolve around this topic of from social media to social skills, crafting digital entity in English. My name's Eri, and my Instagram, TikTok accounts are at Prof Eri Kun. So if you guys are on TikTok or IG, feel free to come to my account. Next, please. All right. So today's talk is extremely timely because I believe everyone has multiple identities. And we would like to really underscore on that part over and over because not only are we, let's say, a lecturer, a student in an offline world, we are somebody else in the online world. So digital identity is something that nobody can escape from in today's world. And we have to really pay attention to who we are online because that will profoundly affect our life and our well-being. Next, please. Next. Yes. All right. I would like to first touch on the role of social media in shaping identity. What is quite interesting in our today's world is the fact that we are heavily connected to social media. And I guess for most people, the very reason behind the intense interaction or involvement or engagement in social media is to be social, right? But what we often find, this is something that I believe everyone has observed, people today, especially Gen Z, when they interact offline, let's say they're at a cafe or they are at a place where they hang out and they have friends before them, they are still holding their phone and interact with their online friends. So that is quite an anomaly in my view because the the very reason why social media are there in the very first place is to provide a platform for everyone to be social. And so if you have friends in front of you, you'd better you just put off your phone and talk to the person offline. All right. So social media, in essence, is very important because it shapes who you are. Next, please. The very first point I would like to elaborate is social media serve as a platform for self-expression. In many cases, and it is especially true with my students, those who are much, much younger than I am, they have they seem to have different personalities online. So I guess for people of the same age or for people who are much older than I am, we more preferably or most potentially have the exact same personality. So in all my social media accounts, my name is there, Eri, right? So I wouldn't dare change my name into Eri Kurniawan, for instance, or Gibran Rakabumi, for instance, right? That's way too dangerous. Why? Because to us, millennium generation, identity is something that we nurture and we have built for such a long time. And so this is something we have to safeguard for the rest of our lifetime. But somehow, what is interesting in today's world, people can simply create a new personality online. And it is okay. Why? Because social media somehow provides, let's say, a new world for people to self express. So they can somehow pretend to be another person with another gender, another age, another profession, and so on and so forth. So Um, it is just, to me personally, quite interesting to see how social media now serve as places for people to self-express. Next, please. But one thing that I would like to highlight, you have to really choose who you are. It is my personal preference to simply present who I am offline to the online world. So people know who I am and they won't see any difference in terms of the way I present myself, what I do, who my friends are. So in most cases, either on Facebook or Instagram, uh, most of my friends are there, right? So I don't have like different sets of friends depending on different social media. But of course, it is your choice. You have the liberty to choose which platform to interact with whose people, with which sets of group of people. And so you can construct your online persona. And it is okay. So for instance, if you are such a shy person, you are heavily introverted, for instance. You don't like to even look at yourself in the mirror, right? Some of you some of us are like that. For those who are extremely extroverted, we love to see ourselves. We love to see our pictures, right? We love to see how people appreciate, comment, value ourselves. But for some others, they don't like being showcased. They don't like being on the stage. And they may construct their personas differently. So they can be very timid or shy offline, but they can be a very open, welcoming, um, highly interactive, for instance, sociable, easygoing individual online. Next, please. But be careful how you present yourself online, the kind of people you interact with, the kind of contents that you enjoy, the kind of engagement with others will affect your mental well-being. Uh, for instance, different platforms, right, have different what to say nuances because I I feel that, let's say, TikTok has just different sets of people, right, who are extremely engaging, and they are quite different with Facebook, for instance, or even YouTube. And so I sometimes share the exact same thing both on Instagram and on TikTok. And I don't even think about what kind of impact that will bring about. I just want to share what I feel valuable or beneficial for in the interest of anyone. But you know what? On my TikTok account, there was a person who somehow perhaps got annoyed by my intense posts, uh, knowing that I'm a professor, but in his view, instead of teaching, researching, right, and then doing community services, I make posts, I make videos, right? I'm quite actively engaged online. And so this person was criticizing me, like, Prof, why don't you do real jobs like, teaching, researching, publishing? And to be honest with you, the first time I read the comment, I was, you know, impacted. My uh, mental state was kind of annoyed by such a comment because uh, my initial reaction was, well, you don't know what I'm doing, 24/7, right? Um, I I never leave my classes. I always research and publish my works. As you can see from my CV, I regularly do community service. I always do my professional jobs in such a way that I can be a professor in such a young age. And so the reason why I do this, social media presence is to pretty much share to the much wider audience what I have, in mind, perhaps my opinions, my views, and so on and so forth, right? Next, please. And then another thing that you need to be really cautious about is there's this called echo chambers of identity. And I think it is something that was engineered by algorithm. And so if you are onto something, for instance, you are onto the use of AI in academic writing, the use of AI in research, or AI in making money. Wherever you go, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, you will, like, it seems like coincidence, but it's not. All the contents that you are being exposed to is all about the things that you are interested in, because that's how the algorithm works. And so social media somehow, constructs an environment where similar viewpoints are exactly amplified. You seem to find a person or a group or a community that has the exact same beliefs, that has the exact identities. And that's actually problematic because, the reality is not like that. You have to face and interact with people of different beliefs, different opinions, and different identities. And so these echo chambers of identity is quite dangerous. So you have to be really, you know, aware of such a phenomenon. Next, please. Now, I would like to move on to how to understand social skills in a digital context. There's a couple different topics that I would like to talk about: adapting language and tone, identifying emotional cues, managing digital disagreements, active listening skill, and digital body language awareness. Next, please. Let's talk about the first one. So, when you interact online, you are not interacting in the same way as you are interacting in the offline world, right? Why? Because as you can see from your screen, I am framed by this window, right? You just cannot see what I'm wearing. Am I wearing pants, for instance, or I'm just wearing a sarong? You don't know that, and cannot also tell how my non-verbal cues somehow complement my speech. In real life interaction, you can see people faces, you can see eye movement, you can see gestures, and those non-verbal cues really complements our real life offline interactions. And so, while there are benefits of online interaction, for instance, you can interact with people of such a great distance, you can talk to a person in a different hemisphere of the world, without having to to travel to the place where the person is at. But you also have to understand the limitations, the constraints, and most importantly, the impact. So research has shown that the more time younger kids use to interact with their friends online, or the more screen time actually leads to the more reduced social skills. which is to me kind of contradictory, right? In nature, you are engaged in social media in hopes that you can have friends, you can interact with virtual friends, but somehow at the expense of losing your social skills in the real world. And so I would like to somehow bring up this point so then we can be more aware of, the risk of losing our interactional social skills in real life just because we spend too much time online. Next. So, what are the strategies for us to somehow create a positive digital identity? Next one, please. First of all, define your personal brand. Um, it is at your liberty to, create a new person, right? So you may be a professor, you may be a teacher, you may be a professional, but you want to be just an ordinary person online. That's okay. Or you may be, let's say, just a typical employee at office, but you want to be a highly critical citizen online. That's totally okay. But one thing that you have to start thinking about is start by defining your personal brand, and that should reflect your values. So don't aim for virality. Do not go for just to stand out, just to be different. So then you can be viral, you can be famous in such a short time, because that won't last long, right? So if you start building your personal brand online based on your values, then somehow your presence online will last longer. Next, in terms of content, please curate content carefully, because what you see, what you receive in terms of post or content is something that you are interested in. The moment you hit likes to one of the videos, then the algorithm will detect that you love that kind of content and will bombard you with similar contents. And so the same is true of your own content. So if you want to post a content, be sure that it's meaningful, it's relevant to the general public, it's authentic, and it reflects your beliefs or your values. Again and again, I would like to remind you not to go for virality, because it won't last long. And the negative effect of being viral somehow does not equal to the cost of you losing your identity. Next, please. Engage with respect. I know somehow when you are onto discussion, like on thread, for instance, right? You interact with people who have different opinions, different beliefs, things, get heated so instantaneously, right? Why? Because miscommunication often occur. Why? Because it's not real-time communication. You don't see people's reaction really authentically, because what you see is simply a string of words, right? So you don't really know whether the person saying that statement is actually in a happy mood or in a bad mood, right? And so we tend to perceive the message in our own perspective, way of looking. And so I would like to encourage you to interact positively, even when you get harsh criticism. Just take it, take it all in, and then just think that that person who is saying something bad to you, perhaps, of course, doesn't know you, and has some problems has some situation in his or her life, and so just be positive. And so that way, then you can start creating some positive, environment within yourself. Next. And one thing that is true in the digital world is your digital footprint is forever. It won't go away. Even if you think that you have to remove it from your personal phone, it is on the server. And, authorities can pull that out if they need it. And so when you are frustrated, when you are devastated by some situation, when you are mad at a person, don't touch a phone, don't go online. Just, go off the grid, go offline, and just calm yourself. Why? Because the moment you are online and somehow, channel your emotion, your anger online, the moment you are inviting problems. So you have to always uh, control what you want to post and what you want to see. Next, please. So all the points I have made so far actually boils down to this very important point. As an individual who strives to improve our well-being online and offline, you have to balance your online presence with offline reality. So you have to keep that in mind. As much as you love some adrenaline boost, right, or some hormone, the moment your post gets liked or shared, forwarded, or commented, right, or get viral, that is the moment that is satisfying. I know that for sure. But keep in mind that your presence in this world is actually in the physical world, right? And so you always have to monitor your screen time and somehow make a balance between the amount of time you spend online and the amount of time you spend offline. Social media are there to help you get connected, right? Connect friends, connect people. And so if you have friends, you have neighbors, you have family members, relatives, and others, and they are around you, interact with them offline whenever possible. Okay, so you have to be on the balance all the time. Next, please. Right? So awareness is key. You have to recognize the influence of your behavior and others' behavior on your personal well-being and also your perception, others' perception. Next, finding a balance, a nice balance between how you present yourself online and offline. As I said at the beginning of the talk, you can have the same persona online and offline, but you can also have different persona. What is important here is whichever person you choose, that should reflect your belief, your core values, and yourself. Next, and reflection all the time. You have to reflect on what you have posted online, perhaps some spontaneous reactions to some posts that made you angry and somehow you cannot, you know, uh, retrieve or take back what you said. And so all those moments will be a learning experience. So then you can later be a better version of yourself in presenting yourself online. Next. Right. And This, I guess, toward the end of my talk, a quote which is quite powerful. In an increasingly digital world, the ability to navigate online interactions with social skills is vital. As our lives become more intertwined with technology, effective communication, empathy, and conflict resolution will distinguish successful individuals in both personal and professional realities. And so, what is saying is interaction in the online world is inevitable and is actually vital, but you have to know and make use of the proper strategies so that you can present yourself in a much better way. Next. Oh, that's pretty much the end of my talk. I guess let me end with this note. You might see some perhaps different persona if you know me in the offline world, right? I'm a faculty member. I'm a professor. But uh, if you have known me for such a long time, uh, there were times I changed my online names, right? So I once changed my name into Kang Eri, for instance, but then I went back to Eri Kurniawan, and now uh, I use Prof. Eri Kun. So all these changes, of course, there are reasons behind them, and the reason being that I want to experiment, like this part of my social experiment, to see how I can better present myself and how I can better be perceived by others. Uh, I understand better that there are different set of groups on different platforms, and they react quite differently to the same post I make. And so by somehow intentionally choosing to present myself in a different way, I can somehow make a distance to my online identity and make better judgment of who I want to be and how I should present myself in the future. I hope that will be my last note of the presentation, and I'm open to discussion. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Professor Eri, for such an insightful and inspiring presentation on how language shapes our digital identity. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to the question and answer session, and I'm gonna give for all of the participants to probably raise hands or type in the chat box if you have questions. And maybe Mr. Andreas can help me with the presentation note taking, Sir Andreas.
I will help you.
Okay. Sir Andreas, if there are no questions from the participants, is the moderator allowed to ask questions?
Be my
No.
guest.
All right. I hope it's gonna be, what is it? Like
I'll go
triggering,
first.
yeah, triggering. Sorry, say it again.
I go first, maybe.
Oh, Mr. Andreas is gonna go first.
Okay.
So,
I have a question. Very interesting. It's in your presentation. Wait.
Yeah,
In
there's
your
an echo.
presentation, Professor mentioned that social media has a profound influence on children's social competence, right? claimed back by various studies. They said that how can we as educator cultivate and reinforce student character in the face of this ever-growing digital search? That's my question. Okay, thank you,
Well,
Sir Prima.
all right.
Okay, Prof, is it gonna be one by one, or we collect some questions first and
Sir
then
Prima,
Sir
are you
Prima,
with us?
yeah? Are you with us? I'm here, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Sir Prima?
Yeah,
sure.
Prima. Yeah. Is it gonna be one question and then Professor answer, or
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I think we
let's
collect some questions first?
uh let's just respond to the question immediately.
Okay, I think Professor can answer what is it, Mr. Andreas' question first.
All right. Thank
All
you,
right.
Bang Andreas. It is a very interesting question, and it sounds like a typical question that examiners pose in, a doctoral dissertation, right? Or in the conference presentations. So Bang Andreas is testing me right now. All right. So research has shown that, and I think it's true of all the entities in this whole world. Um, all entities, whatever they are, have upside and downsides, right? They always present advantages and disadvantages depending how you use them. So, in terms of technology, some view that technology is value neutral. So that, and I think to some extent, to me, it's true. Um, so technology acts like a knife, right? It depends on how you use it. You can use a knife to stab a person. Oh my goodness, don't even think about it. But you can also use a knife to carve a fruit, right, and make it beautiful to be presented to the guests, or to cut onions, right, as part of your cooking. So you can be either a chef with your knife, or you can be a marketer with your knife. And social media are pretty much like that, yes, in my view. So research has shown that there are drawbacks. There are unwanted consequences of, I guess, engaging in the online social world way too early. That's why in our neighboring country, Australia, there is a strict limitations for children to have a social account, a social media account. And what is quite interesting about the law is the government can punish the social media for allowing kids to have accounts. So somehow it is everyone's responsibility, not only the children, not only the parents, but also the social media providers, to make sure that they monitor uh, the the presence of young kids in the social in their social media platforms. And on that front, research has shown that exposure to social media in the early age somehow lead to diminished social skills, um, especially to um, like to people of like kindergarten students, or to young children, because at their prime time they're supposed to somehow hone their social skills with their peers. But what we've observed in our surroundings, parents somehow give them phones, right, or tabs, or laptops to for them to interact with, just to avoid being annoyed or bothered by their kids, and that's a danger. And so, how do we somehow address this in the educational world? Well, if you are a kindergarten teacher, You may introduce the digital world in such an early age, but you have to know how and when and what for. So do not like, get um driven away by this FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. Oh, everything is digital now, and our school will go digital. So instead of having bilingual or tahvid kindergarten, we are going to have digital kindergarten school, for instance, right? So that don't go to that lane yet because it's not their world yet. So you may introduce some apps, right, to help, let's say, hone the children's phonic skills or literacy, right? But just to break the ice, they have to spend much of their time to interact in the real world. How about primary school? I guess the more mature a person is, or the older they get, they can get more screen time because they already have they can make their own decision. They know the consequences, right? And so what we should do to somehow um, provide our students with the right choice or the right decision is to make them aware of the advantages and disadvantages. They have to balance the amount of time they use. They have to balance the kinds of contents that they post or they enjoy, right? And so on and so forth. So, educating them the right way of using social media to somehow get some entertainment or get some training is the to me is a good way of uh, not forbidding children from using social media, which is totally to me a big no-no. It's such an inevitable world for anyone to use and interact with technology, but to also let them use phones or technology as much as they want is also another extreme that we have to avoid. So we have to be on the balance and somehow educate our children um, the right strategies, the right way of using, and I guess the impacts that this world can bring to their mental state and their well-being. I guess that's what I can say about how to better address this issue in the educational world.
Thank you, Prof. Yeah, thank you for the questions, Mr. Andreas. Like,
Thank you, Professor.
yeah, thank you so
You
much
have
for, yeah.
helped become unreadable. But in that case, sir, in that case, Prof, how can we address this issue? Perhaps research from your journal and journal could provide tips for us as educators. Prof, please please enlighten us.
You 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 were breaking up, so perhaps Bang Prima can help me restate the question.
Um, what is it? Mr. Andreas, can you repeat one more time because it's,
In that
yeah, it's
case,
echoing.
about social competence with children, how can we address this issue? Perhaps from your journal or your research can provide give us tips for us as educators, Prof.
All right. I guess what Bang Andreas was asking is how to brush up on certain social skills, right? Through the digital world or through online interactions. Well, what I can think of right now is, especially in the context of English teaching, uh, is to provide let's say, a project where our students are asked to find uh, an overseas friend. right? Something that they don't have in the real world. Like a typical person like me don't have, an overseas friend in my neighborhood, right? We don't have a foreigner in our neighborhood. And so even though we can speak English right the way we are doing it right now, but uh, there is a different feeling, right? A different atmosphere, different sensation when you talk to a native speaker of English. And let's say we want to somehow give that firsthand experience ourselves. And so we can provide them a project where they can, use, let's say, any social media and find a friend and somehow interact with that new friend. And you have to provide the guidelines, what kind of topics that you should bring up, right? In what way, and then how much time they should spend. And by when they uh, talk to you, reporting what they've done, they have to show some evidence. For instance, screenshots of screenshots of their interaction. So that way, we have allowed them to exercise the online world to interact with the kind of people that they cannot get in the real world, while also giving them the limits. So, use the social media to find a new friend, to get new experiences, to learn new things, not to, let's say, find a friend and then somehow waste your time just to play games, for instance, or do some bad activities online. I guess there is one activity or project that I can think of right now.
Prof, has this topic ever been apart from your research, Prof? Or have you written about in any of your journals?
Well, unfortunately, that's not my cup of tea. That's not my topic. But um, I'm quite passionate about technology and how people have been interacting using technology for the sake of my well-being and then the well-being of people around me. And as educators, we also have to somehow educate ourselves to know the affordances of these platforms and how we can better make use of their upsides, their advantages, their features to better teach our students. Oftentimes, we feel like we are at loss, or we don't know what our students are talking about just because we are not on the same page as our students, right? Some our students perhaps are talking about some new applications or some new, um, let's say, online thing, and it's a hype in their world, and they keep talking about this in our classroom, and just because of lack of knowledge, we ignore it, even though it turns out it's such a bad thing. So had we known uh, at least what that is, then we can anticipate that from even appearing in our classrooms.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Back to you, Sir Prima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Andreas, for the questions. It was really inspiring, yeah. Like, um, Prof, may I ask a question? But it's kind of like this, Prof. Allow me to highlight a bit of your presentation. Yeah? We are heavily connected to social media, and you must choose who you really are. Let's say, uh, let's say there is somebody who has built their digital identity very well, yeah. And let's say he is an influencer, but due to his reckless action in the real life, all of the digital identity that he has built went down. So that phenomena quite happened to some influencers. How should we? Is it possible for us to rebuild the already go down digital identity like that, Prof? I'm talking about rebuilding our broken image in the digital identity. Thank you, Prof.
All right, thank you for the question, Bang Prima. I think it is very possible, and the digital world actually provides you with such a feature, right? In the real world, when somehow you've done something horribly wrong, and people just hates you, right? Or you are being cast by the society. You have to move to a new place, right? You have to build a new identity, but that's not an easy feat, all right? Moving to a new place, building a new identity is never an easy task, right? Um, but in the digital world, it's very, very easy. Uh, as I mentioned at the beginning of my talk, uh, in the online world, you can have multiple identities. And in fact, it is a very common phenomenon among our students, among our younger kids, right? They have multiple accounts, even on the same platform. Let's say on Instagram, they have three accounts. I just was curious about this, and I interviewed my students. Like, I saw you have different accounts on Instagram. So why? And they say, well, sir, one is for my personal, like personal. So this is only for my private friends, someone who I know very closely, so I can share things more freely, things that my families will never know, things that let's say, my teachers will never. Another one will be used for the general public, and so this is something that everyone can know. And so they somehow have this awareness of having different personalities for different purposes. And to me personally, Bang Prima, that's okay, right? Sometimes we want to, present ourselves in different ways, in different contexts, right? I want to present myself as a humorous individual in a very relaxed, informal encounter. But in, like, office environments, I tend to present myself as a more serious, formal individual. And so we somehow uh, set our, let's say, micro personalities in the real world as well. But in the online world, having multiple identities or changing our identities is just very, very easy. And so when things go bad, uh, just because you said something horribly bad to some person, goes viral, right? Um, just change your identity online, right? You can simply pick a new name, right? A new identity, a new picture, right? And present yourself in a different way. And the key here, in my view, Bang Andreas and Bang Prima, is you have to be sure whatever persona you choose, they reflect yourself. They reflect your values. They reflect your norms, right? They reflect who you are. Um, but of course, one may wonder, how can you be true to yourself if you have different personalities? Well, some individuals are just like that, right? I mean, it's not something bad. People may choose to have different personalities on different occasions, in different contexts, right? And so the fact that we are afforded these digital environments where we can be anyone we want, to me, it's just an opportunity for people to express themselves, of course, in a positive tone. So if one identity or one account goes wrong, you can simply create a new one and build your persona.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor. Mr. Andreas, do we still have time to allow the participants to ask, or shall we close the session?
Maybe
Mr.
one
Andreas,
or two questions, sir.
one more
I'm Siska.
questions?
I guess you want to ask Professor.
Okay, I think all of the participants are. Please, if there are questions, you may ask or raise your hands.
Even if you don't have question right now,
Nah,
uh, Bang Andreas and I guess has my contact and my email address, right? My WhatsApp number. Feel free to reach out to me whenever you have concerns, questions, or you want to somehow discuss, over academic things or just everyday topics. So whenever I have time, I will get back to you as soon as possible.
Yes, sir, Prima. There's no question.
I think we can conclude, yeah, Bang Andreas.
Yeah,
yeah.
Prof. They will contact you. I will give their contact.
Your contact. Okay, thank you, Professor Eri. Okay, distinguished participants, as we come to the end of the session, we have learned an important lesson. Yeah? Behind every digital screen lies identity, values, and responsibility, Prof. Crafted carefully through our language. May today's discussion inspire us not only to be active on social media, but also to be positive, confident, ethical, and impactful communicators in the global community. Allow me, as your moderator, Stefanus Primanugroho, to thank all the participants and especially Professor Eri for the time and experience sharing, and also the organizing team, and also our beloved host, Mr. Andreas. I sincerely apologize for any shortcomings. Yeah, like I keep being kicked out and get in again. Allow me to deliver a proverb, yeah, Prof. and Mr. Andreas. Wise words build bridges. Careless words burn them. Thank you for your participation. Wishing you continued learning and success. Thank you very much, Prof. Going back to you, Mr. Andreas.
Bang Andreas, you're still mute.
Oh, okay, Mr. Andreas. Mr. Andreas, are you still there?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, okay, I got it. I got it. Thank you, sir. The
Okay,
floor is yours now.
ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, we Prima, can you hear me?
Yeah. I got it, sir. I am still here. Yeah.
Test,
The
test.
connection is
Okay.
okay.
Ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen, we have now reached the end of our webinar. I would like to express my deepest gratitude once again to our distinguished speaker, Professor Eri, and also as the head of the International Partnership Division, right, Mr. Prof. Eri, for sharing such profound insight on crafting digital identity. I also want to extend a very special thank to Sir Prima for excellently moderating today's session and keeping the discussion so engaging. I hope and knowledge we gain today will be beneficial for our future growth. I'm Andreas Helpi, the founder of Caritaau, and it has been an honor to be your host. Once again, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Thank you and have a wonderful evening. Okay, before we leave, could everyone please turn on your camera for a quick group of photo. Okay, we have photo. Wait. Okay, one. Can you turn on your camera? All participants. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Wait. Again. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, please make
Bang
sure
Andreas, Bang Prima.
to fill out the attendance and certificate link and feedback from you through the link provided in the chat box. Okay, thank you once again for Prof. Eri. You may leave for Prof. Eri.
All right, bye-bye
Very
everyone.
much,
Assalamualaikum.
Prof. Eri. Thank you, Sir Prima. I will send to you a certificate and link.
Thank you, sir. Okay, have a good day, Mr. Andreas. Thank you so much for the invitation. See you on the next occasion, yeah. Bye bye.
Terima kasih, Bapak Ibu semua yang telah bergabung menyempatkan waktu. Ibu dosen Josephine Harianja. Terima kasih Bu sudah
Ya,
mendukung.
Pak, terima kasih.
Oke, Barata, Ibu Dera, semuanya. Terima kasih sekali lagi. Ibu Dera, Bu. Bu Josephine ya. Satu yayasan ini.
Kok tahu, Pak?
Yayasan Tunas Karya.
Iya, benar.
Iya.
Iya, Pak.
Oke, terima kasih
Terima
banyak.
kasih, Pak.
Waduh,
Selamat sore.
terima kasih. Selamat sore, Ibu. Terima kasih. Mem Siska, terima kasih. Pak Erik dari KGTK Provinsi Kepulauan Babel, terima kasih telah mendukung kegiatan pada sore hari ini. Terima kasih. God bless you all.